Excited. I have Stacy and Nick from the Delco Skatepark Coalition. They've got Delco in the name. It's Delco Gives Day. Guys, first of all, how are you doing? How's Delco Gives so far?
We're awesome.
Doing great. Yeah,
Excited
thank
to
you.
Be here.
Yeah, very much.
All right, it's beautiful weather outside. It's perfect skating weather. Let's talk about skate parks in Delco. Let's talk about your story.
Sure. So we formed in 2020. We are a pandemic nonprofit, as I'm sure you've heard many of those today. And we really sort of came about seeing a need when there was no organized sports for kids going on, and a lot of kids were doing things solo and spending time at existing skate parks. There just wasn't enough of those. They were crowded. The facilities, could be improved. We really saw a need to bring more of those so that parents in our region weren't having to travel, and kids weren't having to need necessarily parents to get to those places. So that's really how we were born, just out of seeing that problem, seeing that kids needed more places to play. Not every kid plays an organized sport. And understanding that if we brought those facilities to local communities, they'd be used, because all of the ones that we were going to were packed.
We're far away.
and far away, exactly.
In my notes here, you were clearly taking pride in Delaware County, in Delco,
Sure.
and it's in your name. So, how important is that awareness and centralizing that effort on Delaware County? And then I want to hear, I know that we're talking about adaptive skate parks, we're talking about inclusivity at skate parks, so let's talk about that, because you guys are focused right here in Delaware County, and now layering on top of that, focusing on adaptive skate parks. So I would love to learn more.
Sure. So I think probably the best way to think about skate parks are, places where everybody can go, and places where anyone should be able to play. And so we really looked at the idea of inclusivity and expanded this from, when you say skate parks, you think of skaters, right? So we look at the inclusive aspect as being all wheels. So when we say all wheels, we mean not just skateboards, but also rollerbladers and roller skaters and scooters,
I was
bikes.
a scooter kid.
Yes.
You were a scooter kid. See, there you go. You're the perfect person for this. Right?
For sure.
But also those wheels that don't get a lot of play, right? So people, for example, people in wheelchairs, people who have differing abilities or disabilities, right? What kinds of places can we create for them to be able to utilize? And so the adaptive aspect came into our mission really early on, because we realized we couldn't have inclusivity without really considering all of the potential users.
So Nick, for folks that are sitting at home right now, maybe they've never heard about the Delco Skatepark Coalition, how important are the funds raised today for Delco Gives? What is that money going towards, and how important it is to your organization?
Yeah, sure. So, it's extremely important. Days like today, really any opportunity that we have to sort of broaden our reach of our coalition to, a larger group of people is really a huge help to us. There's nonprofits of all sizes out there. We're such a local sort of grassroots, home-based type of coalition that just tries to get involved in anything that we can. And a lot of it is just very small donations. Even one of the parks that we were affiliated with, having constructed in Chester Township, we were working with the township. Township had a grant for that park. We gave them a little bit better heading on how they can get that park done correctly. But then on top of it, we also raised, $10,000 or $12,000 within a few weeks just out of our local group to just kind of add to it, make it a little bit better, sort of, bring it all together and have it done correctly. So, everything that we do is really just about broadening our reach and just trying to make our name known to as many people as possible.
Well, and looking at your page at delcogives.org, search for Delco Skatepark Coalition, I think that something that is very clear, and it makes sense that you were born out of the pandemic, we're really talking about getting kids outside. right? Like we're giving them a safe space and a safe environment to play. They're not riding their scooter, or in my case, I was 12 years old and my bike got clipped by a car on the street when I shouldn't have been on the street. If I was at one of your skate parks, I think that it would have been a safe environment for you. But so you're just about at $600 raised, 20 donors, which I love to see. And you are fundraising very specifically the first adaptive all-wheel skate park. Upper Darby is where that's going to live, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, it's at Observatory Fields is where we're looking to build that park. It's actually the park that I grew up at. Grew up right behind
this is
it.
near and dear to Nick's heart. Like, very close.
It's my passion project. I grew up learning how to skateboard at that park. We've advocated for building a skate park in Upper Darby since the mid-90s. My family ran a skate shop back at that time. We were constantly at township meetings, pushing for the agenda of having a park built in that area somewhere. Observatory was certainly one of the places that we were looking at, but it's definitely a wonderful opportunity, and to their credit, Upper Darby has done a great job with being receptive to the idea as well. They had some different ideas for that space, but I think once we did a few pop-up events and some other things as well, just to show what that community looks like if a permanent park were there, and the overall idea of it clicked immediately with Upper Darby's government. So they were very much about the idea.
I love it.
We really have to hand it to Upper Darby for being so forward.
Well, and it's the spirit of collaboration, and that's really what days like today are about.
Exactly.
Nick, Stacy, thank you guys so much. If you're following along, delcogives.org, Delco Skatepark. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.